door to the show right here on Shaw TV. My name is Matt Carter. Welcome to episode number 60. In fact, a number made popular by famous Montreal Canadiens goaltender Jose Theodore. Go Habs, go. All right, our musical guests playing in behind us are now Kendall Patrick and the Headless Betty. Usually the Headless Bettys, but they're down to a duo for this show here. They're a sort of a folk and indie music ensemble. Some amazing original tunes. We're going to hear more of those tunes later on, as well as an interview with the recently birthdayed Andrew Roberts. All right, we felt actually now that it's time actually we should clean house around here. So we brought in a guest to teach us how to make our own soap. So find out how you can do that with soap creator Margot Fedoruk, not to be confused with former Philadelphia Flyers enforcer Todd Fedoruk, who wasn't very clean whatsoever. But doing the intro, we have our own maiden of cleanliness, Miss Anna Bosa. Now we do hear a lot about Lifetime Achievement Awards, but what about Junior Achievement? Well, Bob Fenty, who claims to have multiple Lifetime Achievement Awards somehow, he's introduced us to an organization called Junior Achievement BC. And regional manager Deborah Wakeham is going to tell us what the organization is all about. Now, usually the show goes for a bit of a dive at about the 55-minute mark when I start spewing forward puns, but this week, Bob is in charge of the diving, and he'll be diving into a special anniversary event that actually involves diving right here in Nanaimo. We'll get the Scuba from Chelsea Bar from Tourism Nanaimo and dive expert Shirley White. We're also going to let you know about two great fundraisers coming up. I'm going to be speaking with Sonia Coleman about a local annual Bachelors Auction that's benefiting Children's Hospital. And Lorraine Jensen's going to welcome back to our Shaw TV studios Holly Bright from the Crimson Coast Dance Society and Susie Siri from the Grand Hotel. And they're going to tell us about the Mad Hatter Tea Fundraiser. Definitely not to be confused with the Matt Carter Beer Hellraiser, which seems to happen pretty much every week. All right, now if you've ever had questions, concerns, or problems in a relationship, then you probably count Andrew Roberts or me as one of your exes. Or you're probably just a normal human being. So what if education could help in your relationships? Well, Anna is going to speak to marriage and family therapist Ian Gartshore about the idea of relationship courses. But first, we're going to learn about a particular anniversary of another kind. That's coming right up as we kick off another rousing edition of the show right here on Shaw TV.
Thanks, Matt. My guests this evening are Susan Jarvis and Jim Slater, and they are from the Pensioners and Seniors Organization. Welcome.
Thank you.
We're glad to be here.
I'm really glad to have you here. I've learned so much this evening just talking about you before the show. Now, you're here to tell us about a celebration that you just hosted for seniors and pensioners in the community. How many years are you celebrating?
75.
75.
Yeah, it was incorporated in September of 1938.
Wow. So as a BC organization, it was incorporated?
No, the BC organization was incorporated a few years earlier, but we received our charter in 1938 for the Nanaimo branch.
So your charter is now 75 years old?
Yes.
And you have one member that joined when she was 40 and is now how old?
97.
97. How do you keep them coming back like that? That's amazing.
She's a wonderful woman. Mm-hmm. It's Pearl Greening. And yes, she came to our dinner and she was as cheerful as ever. I took her home afterwards and she was so bright and she was so happy that she was able to come to our celebration.
That's fantastic. Now, you tell me that this is Pensioners and Seniors Organization, and yet how old do you have to be to become a member?
There's no age restriction, but because of our name, most people wouldn't be wanting to join. A 19-year-old probably wouldn't want to come. But we would take them if they wanted to come. We can always use the help. We need the younger people for sure. Younger seniors is what we're looking for.
Younger seniors. What is a younger senior?
Anything over 19, I guess.
I'm a younger senior. I'm not. We won't go there.
That's a good idea.
That's not going to go there. No.
That's a good idea. So I understand that the place that you meet is on Lavier Road, and it's a fabulous little community space. And how many people did you have at your party?
We had 70.
70 people.
70 people. Our goal was to reach 75 members for our 75th anniversary. We started out 3 years ago with 9 members, and we now have 76 members. And it's all through word of mouth. There's we don't advertise for members. It's all because people who come there really enjoy themselves and they want to come and bring their friends.
So tell me some of the things that you do there.
We have 2 lunches a month. We have a soup and sandwich the second Tuesday of the month, and the soup is provided by our members, and we buy the ingredients and make the sandwiches, and that's $5. And then we play bingo afterwards, or bingo before, whatever. And then the 4th Tuesday of the month, we have a potluck. And seriously, you would never get a better meal than what you get there. It's amazing, the food that it's just,
Write it down, Matt.
Yeah, write it down. You're welcome to join us. It's just awesome. Yeah, and then on Thursday nights, we play cards, whatever people want to play. If they want to play Remoli, we'll play Remoli or canasta or whist or crib, whatever they want. We also have a lady who comes to teach our seniors how to play pool. We had a beautiful pool table donated to us this past spring. So that's something that, and you'd be surprised how many women actually want to play pool.
Wow.
So, and it is our goal to have the facility open every day as a drop-in. And that's been happening over the summer. People have been just dropping in. They see a car there, they stop in and have coffee and tea and muffins and whatever, iced tea, what's ever available.
So a great place to build community.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's really a feel-good place. It's a good place to come.
That's what you were telling me about one of your members.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
We're like an autonomous group, so we don't report to anybody, except we have to file, of course, with the government once a year, but otherwise we run the whole thing ourselves.
That's right.
Great.
All by donation. Yeah. We get a lot of community donations. And I'd just like to clarify one thing. Apparently there was a newspaper article that said one of our members had donated $1 million to us. It was not true. And it didn't look good for us because we are out in the community asking for donations. So that didn't happen. But he has donated over $1 million to local charities in the past 10 years. But
and yours was one of them?
Ours was one of them, yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. This has been amazing. Now, if anybody wants more information, they can stop by if they see a car there on what number, Labio?
Yes, 2465 Labio Road.
2465 Labio Road, or they can call 250
585-5748.
585-5748. Thank you so much for being here, and I look forward to stopping by and seeing your upgraded space.
Thank you.
We look forward to seeing you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
And now I'd like to pass things over to Anna and Margot, who are making soap.
Thank you, Lorraine, and welcome, Margot. This is Margot Fedoric, and she's a soap creator for Starfish Soap Company. Welcome. And today, I've never made soap before. So, Margot, I would really love it if you could explain the soap making process, please.
Okay, well, first of all,
and you brought all your ingredients too.
I brought all my ingredients. There's many different things that you can use to make soap, but what I brought today is what you might make a natural soap made with vegetable oils.
Smells good.
Oh,
whatever you brought smells lovely.
So most soap makers, most vegetable oils are made with olive oil, usually a form of coconut oil.
Okay.
Palm oil is usually a popular ingredient. It's what they used to use instead of tallow.
Okay. Tallow.
Tallow is beef fat.
Okay.
But a lot of people now like to go vegetarian.
It's not. Yep.
Sometimes I'll put cocoa butter in it for moisturizer, little beeswax.
This is beeswax?
Yeah, well, I buy it the easy way. It's beeswax beads, so it's a lot easier to work with. And very important is the lye.
That's right, you told me not to touch.
Do not touch.
Because lye is very corrosive, is it not?
Yeah, so when I'm making soap, I always wear my safety goggles. I always wear my gloves.
I bet.
Sometimes I even wear a mask. Yeah.
I was going to ask about that.
Yeah,
you don't want it.
You don't want it to touch your body.
Right.
Very important as well is to have all your stainless steel. Everything should be stainless steel.
And you need a stove as well.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So I melt all my oils on the stove. I put my lye in the water, distilled water usually. And then everything has to come to temperature. So it's really important to have really good candy thermometer.
Yep.
So what I do is I pour the lye and water and I set it aside and it gets really, really hot. Okay. So I set that aside. Then I melt my oils in my trusty pot.
Okay.
Okay. And I let those come to temperature. Then when everything comes to about, I usually stir everything up at about 100 degrees.
Right.
That's when I pour my lye into my oils.
Okay.
And then that's when all the magic happens.
Is it magic? I
It's
bet it
magic.
is. It's too bad we couldn't do that.
I
but
know, but it does
the
take
facility we don't have
quite
to
a
do
while.
that.
Yeah. So
Or the time.
that's when the stirring starts.
Okay.
Okay. So then usually I'll stir it for about 5 minutes in my pot.
Right. Okay.
And then most soap
The magic.
makers, the magic happens. Then usually for about 5 minutes. Then everyone has one of these. Every
Yes,
soap
most people
maker
do.
has a stick blender. And that's really important because that's when it sort of whips things up really great. That's when the saponification happens.
And is it liquid before you do this part, right?
Yep. So it's all liquid.
Okay.
Then you, it comes
So
to
you
trace.
whiz it.
Yep. So when you can sort of make a pattern on the top of your soap, it's called coming to trace. And that's
Trace.
when you know that saponification has happened.
Okay.
That's when you have to act fast.
I like that word, saponification.
Yeah. That's when you add all your exciting things that I think is exciting. You can add
I
your
saw this
flower
before.
petals like
Those are calendula.
calendula. You add your essential oils. You can add anything like French pink clays for color.
Oh, color. Okay.
Yeah, or seaweed powder I might put in. It's good for your
Seaweed
skin.
powder?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
And sometimes pumice.
And pumice gives it that
Nice scrub.
scrub to it,
yeah,
right?
so I'll put that in my gardener's soap.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's a great idea.
So basically, that's it. Then you pour it into your soap mold. And I brought a soap mold that we actually
smell,
make. You don't have to make your own soap mold. You can pour it into just any box,
Like a box.
like
box.
a plastic box, as long as you grease it very well.
Grease it with what, like oil like
I
this?
use olive oil. Yeah.
Okay.
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 But we make our own soap molds. My husband, who's very clever, makes this.
Is that why your company's called Starfish?
It is. So this is my soap mold. So this is what. So I'll pour the liquid soap into this, right?
Okay.
So
okay.
I'll do that, and then this is what it looks like when it's solid. So that it takes about 24 hours to
solidify?
Yep. So it'll be poured. So it'll look like this, right? Then I pop it in the freezer,
Right.
and then I pop it out, and then that's my soap. This one in particular is coffee soap.
Really?
Yeah, I call it Kitchen Goddess.
Coffee soap.
Yeah, really
Okay.
good for taking away onion and garlic scents.
Okay.
Yep.
We're gonna continue on again.
Okay,
We're
sure.
gonna stop right now.
Okay.
And then we're gonna come back.
Okay.
And right now we're gonna go over to Bob on the main set.
Thanks, Anna. And today I welcome Deborah Wakeham, who is the Regional Manager of the Junior Achievement Program here on Vancouver Island. And we're going to be talking about students and our young students of our community and the business that they can get into. And the Junior Achievement Program helps them to become community leaders. So welcome to the show, Deborah. Glad to have you here.
That's great.
Tell us
Thank
a little
you.
bit about what Junior Achievements really is all about.
For sure, Junior Achievement is the world's largest nonprofit organization that is dedicated to teaching youth about business. We're in over 120 countries around the world,
Wow.
and we've been active in British Columbia since 1955.
So you're old like me.
Yeah, we're old. We're old. But we partner up with donors, with teachers, and with business professionals to bring programs to school classrooms to help teach youth about entrepreneurship, work readiness skills, and also financial literacy.
How many kids, students, should I call them kids, students do we have on the island?
Sure. So each year we reach about 6,000 students in over 200 classrooms on Vancouver Island. But honestly, Bob, we have some big goals in mind. And in particular in Nanaimo, we want to increase our reach. You know, we're working with a few schools in Nanaimo, but ultimately we want to work with many more schools, many more local classrooms.
We were chatting earlier about getting involved in Barsby High School, and I know there's a ton of kids there that will really benefit from your program. I work with some of those kids, as we were saying.
Absolutely.
And I know the benefit that they're going to derive. But getting them involved in this program, how does that help our economy in Canada?
Well, you know,
what does it do for them?
It's really quite simple. It's been proven that students that participate in junior achievement programs are more likely to stay in school, are more likely to secure themselves incredible jobs in the future, and really pay back to the Canadian economy.
So, so in order to inspire these kids, these students, to get involved in junior achievement, what do you do?
Well, it's really quite simple. You know, if you have a son or a daughter that's attending local school here in Nanaimo, it's as simple as mentioning to the school teacher that you'd like your child to get involved with junior achievement programming. The teacher can just simply contact JA through our website, www.jabc.org, and let us know that they're interested in our programs.
We're going to have your website up there a little bit later on the show as well, before we go.
And I should mention, what makes us really unique is that our programs are facilitated in school classrooms by business and community leaders.
How do you find these people?
Well, you know, through places like this, it's been fabulous. You know, Nanaimo is a great community, and we need the business leaders and the community leaders to band together with us.
I know one, we talked briefly too as well, I know Rotary, and I'm a Rotarian, and I know there's a ton of Rotary people who would, I'm sure, will be jumping on board to give you a hand in that regard. But where does the funding come from then to support the program?
Well,
Deb?
small business and large business alike support junior achievement. And as I mentioned, our programs are then provided free of charge in the classroom.
So on an ongoing basis now, there is an opportunity for these students to showcase what they've learned and so on, but unfortunately, I'm getting the sign here that we're just about out of time, Deborah.
Sure.
So thank you so much, Deborah, for coming and talking with us today. And I know from my personal feeling, these students that you're working with, the Junior Achievement Program, are the future community leaders of our community, and politics as well too. So I take my hat off to you and the great program that you're doing. And now we're going to slide over and make some soap. Anna, back to you.
Thanks, Bob. It's slippery over here, let me tell you. And I'm happy that Margot today brought some soap she just made yesterday. But before we get into that, I have a question for you, just about lye.
Yeah.
We were talking about you put lye into the soap.
Yep.
How, well, not dangerous, but how natural is it for your skin?
Well, there's no soap made without lye. So every natural bar of soap all has lye.
And how harsh is it?
It's very harsh on its own. So that's why I always wear goggles and my gloves.
Right.
But once it saponifies, then it's fine for your skin.
It's okay?
So, yep.
Okay.
So remember, we just poured the liquid soap, right?
Right.
Into my soap mold, right?
One of these.
My lovely soap mold. So this is what it looks like the next day. And this one I made with pink clay and activated charcoal, which is very good for your skin.
Charcoal?
Yeah.
Really?
It's the new hot thing for soap.
Activated charcoal.
So I'm going to try to show you how I take it out of the mold. So I'm hoping this is going to work. So I usually pop it in the freezer. And that's what it looks like. And then,
wow, that's beautiful.
Thank you.
Look at that.
Isn't that? And it's all good for your
gorgeous.
skin.
Can you see that? Okay.
The French pink clay.
Beautiful.
Anyway, and then I cut the bars.
Okay. Yep.
And
yeah,
then,
that's pretty heavy duty cutter.
Yeah,
I guess you
it
need
is.
that.
Yeah, my husband made it for me.
Did he?
Yeah.
He's quite talented, isn't he?
He is. He made that. And anyway, so this bar of soap now has to cure for at least 3 to 4 weeks before you can use it. So I set it in my shop.
Cure meaning just to air.
Yep, air dry, and
Air
then it's sort of
dry.
the saponification process
Right.
finishes up, and then you can use it.
And then you can use it.
So that's why I'm using my gloves right now.
Because you don't want to,
Yep, but basically
you want it to cure.
Yeah. So if
Wow,
you're
that's
interested too, I have a
amazing.
lot of other soaps that are ready.
Yes, I would love to see what
Okay.
other
This one
wonderful things
is
you
very
make.
popular. It's my nettle shampoo bar.
Oh,
Yeah.
very good.
Yeah,
Nettle.
Nettle.
Cool.
Yeah. So I pick the
Now
nettles.
you said shampoo bar.
Yeah, so I use a different kind of oil in this one. I use castor oil, which gives
Okay.
it bubbles.
Really?
Yeah, and nettle is supposed to be good for thickening of hair.
It is, yes. I've used nettle shampoo once before.
Right, so
Yeah,
a lot
yeah.
of people come just for my nettle shampoo bar.
Wow,
And I love
amazing.
it because it grows freely everywhere on my little island of Gabriela.
Oh, and it smells amazing
Oh,
too.
thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's all
this
part
is
of the
kind of
beauty of it.
interesting too. This
How
year I've
beautiful.
been trying to grow my loofahs.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
loofahs. So this is like a loofah right in my soap.
okay, how beautiful. And we're running out of a little bit
Okay.
at a time.
Okay,
so
I'll be quick. This is a Himalayan salt bar. So I puree the Himalayan salt and I put
and
it.
that smells lovely
Yeah,
too.
yeah. So it's sort of like a nice exfoliation.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Goat milk soap.
Thank you so
Lots
much.
of soap. Yeah.
I
Thank you.
appreciate being here. Thank you, Marco.
yeah.
And we are going to our wonderful musicians. Sorry.
When you don't have time, when you fall behind, when your screws unwind, I will love you blind. When you miss your folks, when you burn my toast, when you make bad jokes, I will love you the most. When you pass out instantly, when we talk to each other in our sleep, when I'm too scared to say what I mean, I love you quietly. Oh, the night turns to day and the brightness fades to the black skies again and again. And throughout it all, I continue to fall deeper and deeper into this sea, like a cannonball. When your Italian slips, when I'm distracted by your bottom lip, when the Nicorette makes you sick, I love you in all of it. When you were tongue-tied, when we arrive at the same time, when your team keeps you up at night, I'm on your side. When you wanna be strong, when you've already waited for so long, when you wanna carry your friends along, I'll love you on and on and on and on. Oh, the night turns to day and the brightness fades to the black skies again and again. And throughout it all, I continue to fall deeper and deeper into this sea, like a cannonball, like a cannonball. When you don't have time, when you fall behind, when your screws unwind, I will love you blind.
And we're back again. Thank you very much. Today we're going to be talking about some scuba diving, as Matt mentioned earlier. A time to surface dive, as you'll find out in a few minutes. But anyway, please welcome today to our show Chelsea Barr, who is a tourism and communication manager from Tourism Nanaimo, and Shirley White, who's the owner of Nanaimo Dive Outfitters. Welcome to the show, gals. Glad to have you here. But before I ask you any questions, I got to do a brief summary about what this is all about. Several years back, when I owned Grassix Jewelers, I donated 4 dive watches to the dive community to go on wrecks. 2 have been found. 2 are still remaining. 1 on the Saskatchewan, 16 years it has not been found, and 1 on the Cape Breton, 12 years hasn't been found. And weekend coming up, October 5 and 6, tell us, Shirley, what our divers are going to do on those 2 dates. Tell us a little bit about it. Quick.
Well, on the 5th, which is a Saturday, from 10 till 3, divers are going to be in the water doing shore diving. And what they're looking for is some tokens that we've hidden that allow them to go to a party, social on the evening, on the Saturday evening, and they can win a clue that will tell them where the watch is on one of the wrecks.
Oh, you're jumping ahead of me here. You're getting way too fast. That's okay. Chelsea, how did Tourism Nanaimo get involved in this event?
Well, we were asked.
Did I twist your arm?
Yeah. We were asked to participate, which is great. It's a great event. We're helping out in some ways of marketing, so working with the Northwest Dive magazine and working to help create the poster and using our website.
Incredible poster. I meant to bring one tonight and I forgot.
Yeah,
it's an absolutely gorgeous picture of the Saskatchewan, more than 2 years, I'm guessing. It would be maybe 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, it's a few years older. Yeah,
and with all of the growth that's on, it's very picturesque.
Yeah, Array Creative did the poster for us, which was great.
So on Shirley, on Saturday night, what's going to happen at?
Well, the divers are going to get together at Lucky's Liquor, and at that time, their tokens will be turned in for some prizes. So there's lots of different prizes, and 4 of the prizes are clues to where the watches are on the Saskatchewan and the Cape Breton. So 4 divers.
So on the Sunday morning now, we're going to send out 4 divers with their buddies to the wreck, and someone is going to find the watch?
Somebody is going to come up with the watch.
With
One
the
on
token.
the Saskatchewan.
With the token,
for the watch. Yeah, not the watch.
Yeah,
the watch isn't on the.
Actually, somebody said, how did they manage to keep the watches down there that long? No, actually, the watches, Chelsea is looking after them in the office, and they've been there for some time. But there's a disc on each of the ships.
There's a disc hidden.
Bearer is entitled to, and so there's some great fun. So where, Chelsea, where are we going to do the presentation then, real quick, before we have to get cut off?
Yeah, absolutely. I think back at the Brecon boat launch where the divers will come and be presented with the watches to go home with. Yeah.
To come back in, and we'll have, I think we've got 2 boats, have we?
I believe so,
We have Ed Singer's boat.
From Sundown Diving and Sea Dragon Charters.
Sea Dragon Charters are going to be there.
Yeah.
So all the divers will be there. The media is going to be there. We're going to take some pictures. And
absolutely.
I was hoping that we could get somebody out on the water, but I don't think that's going to happen to take shots. So, I won, but no.
We'll have people out on the water.
Really? Oh,
you bet.
That's right. You do
you bet.
have.
We have another boat going out with some underwater photographers.
Yes.
And we're going to have some pictures of the people
and
actually on the wreck.
Chelsea's going to steal that video, I know, for Nanaimo Tourism.
I'm still hoping to get you out on the boat too.
Okay. Sounds great. We're really looking forward to having a great weekend.
Absolutely.
And Chelsea and Shirley, thank you so much for coming and talking with us today. And I have to really say thank you to you and the rest of the group who've worked diligently hard to put this event together. And you know, viewers, if you're a diver or you know someone who's a diver, we'd love to have you come and join us. It's only $25 to join. You get the opportunity to win some wonderful prizes. We've got a list of over 20 prizes that are, well, you'll love them. I know you will. But the opportunity to dive on either the Saskatchewan or the Cape Breton and maybe come home with a really famous watch.
And to register.
And to register online. Yeah, well, to register online is?
tourismnanaimo.com/dive.
There you go.
There you go.
So thank you, gals, very much for coming. It's great to have you here.
Thank you.
And we look forward to a great weekend. And that was 5 minutes, went too fast. And now we're going to go and talk to Matt. I think he's got something to do with Bachelors. Whatever. They're going to give away Bachelors, maybe. I don't know. Back to you, Matt.
Guilty as charged. Yes, thank you so much, Bob, and thank you so much as well, Chelsea and Shirley, for being on the show. I actually asked them before, if they were allowed to joke around on set, and I said, well, Shirley, you can't be serious. And that joke was so bad, so I guess Chelsea, you have to bar the door. Anyhow, all right, we're about halfway through the show right now here on Shaw TV. We've learned about diving, we've learned about soap making, learned about pensions and seniors and Junior Achievement BC. And coming up on the show, we do have Andrew's interview with Kendall Patrick and the Headless Bettys, information on relationship courses, as well as information on a Mad Hatter Tea Fundraiser. But as Bob mentioned, you looking to get yourself a bachelor? Just itching to get one? Well, there's actually a way you can do that, and for a very good cause. So this next event, quite might be of interest to you. So I'm going to take a seat right here, and I'm going to welcome to the show event organizer Sonia Coleman. Sonia, welcome to the Shaw TV studios.
Thank you very much.
So stoked to have you in here. So before we get into the event, now I know you just got here really recently from New York City.
I did, yesterday.
Crazy, yesterday.
Yep.
Boy, your arm's tired. Now I do have to ask, the Bachelors in New York, how do they compare to the Bachelors here in Nanaimo?
There's no comparison. In a town that big, you'd think that there'd be thousands and thousands of beautiful people. Nanaimo takes the cake for beautiful people.
Okay.
Especially bachelors.
That's what I like to hear. All right, so now before we get into the Bachelor Auction details of the event itself, now this is the fourth year you're putting it on.
Yes.
And there's a bit of history here. So why did you get started with this event? Why did you start raising money? What's the cause? What's the reason?
We started this event, Melissa, my partner in crime, and I, because we both had people in our lives who were affected by cancer. And my son was diagnosed with cancer when he was born, and her father had cancer and has passed. So we started doing this event and other events as well for Canadian Cancer Society and Relay for Life, and you know that has just happened. So now this event this year is going to be for the BC Children's Hospital.
Very nice.
Yes.
And how old is your son now?
He is 8 years old.
He's 8 years old, and he was diagnosed with cancer when he was born. Just give us a quick, like, as a new mother, how did that feel to hear that your newborn was diagnosed with cancer?
It's undescribable. You know, I was in shock. You know, how could this happen to a baby? You know, you wonder what you did wrong, if you did anything, and you know, obviously he didn't do anything wrong. He's just born with it, and it was heartbreaking.
Absolutely. And now again, this event we're getting into now, it's a fundraiser for Children's Hospital. Just speak quick on the care they and other folks may have given toward Dexter. Again, now 8 years old and is doing really, really well.
Yeah, full of energy, hard to keep up with.
Nice. Well, thanks to Children's Hospital again for the work they do. Now, let's talk about the Bachelor Auction. Now, to me, I sort of see a thing where it's like guys dressed up, prancing around, and women going crazy and screaming. And this actually happens all the time when our director, Todd Jones, goes to get groceries. So women always screaming at him. So is that actually what happens? Take us through the scene of what happens at the Bachelor Auction.
Well, we put the bachelors to work, and we get them to serve the appetizers. We get them to sell the raffle tickets, and you know, just to get to know the women that are there, and you know, kind of sell themselves, so you know, we can get as much money out of those women as possible.
Nicely done. Now, who are these bachelors? Where do they come from?
They're my friends who have so graciously accepted and said yes to, you know, this crazy event.
Exactly. I will say, and I know we mentioned off air that you already have all the bachelors you need, but we do have some very, very studly Shaw TV camera guys here that if you ever need next year, they asked me to tell you to put their name in the ring. So now, how many bachelors are actually up for bid at this event?
We actually have 8, maybe 10, actually.
Maybe 10? Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's another scenario. Okay, say someone like, say our producer, Melissa Hall, is there, bids on a bachelor, wins the bachelor. Does she have to like marry him right away? Like what actually happens from the scenario?
Yeah. We actually have,
right on the finger.
We have a justice of the peace there on site, just in case, you know, it's love at first sight.
That's chemistry, wow. Yeah.
Now we actually have I put together these packages, and it's dinner for 2, and they get a gift certificate to a clothing company so they can go shopping before their date, and they get their hair and makeup done before their date, and then there's other benefits and other just gift certificates and stuff like that. So the highest bidder gets the best package.
Oh, very nice.
Literally.
Exactly. And so basically it's community radio, ladies and gentlemen, or community television, yes. Now, okay, the last thing I want to say, 2 quick things. First off, just a word on the support from the community of Nanaimo toward the event, and where can people get more information on how to attend?
You can get more information if you go to BC Children's Hospital website, go to events, and you'll see the Bachelor Auction there. You can also go on Facebook and look up the Bachelor Auction there. And
they can phone you as well,
you can phone me, and I've got tickets for sale at the Corner Lounge, Hills Native Art Store, Firehouse Grill.
Perfect. All right. And we do have to mention, of course, the essential details. The Bachelor Auction, the 4th annual, is coming up on Sunday, October the 13th at the Firehouse Grill, starting at 6:30 p.m.
Yes, and I know it is Thanksgiving weekend, but what better way to be thankful for, you know, a hospital that has saved many lives than on Thanksgiving weekend.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for putting this together, and great future health, current and future health for Dexter and all the other folks who have to deal with cancer. So, all right. So moving things on now. Speaking of bachelors, Nanaimo's most negligible bachelor, 3 years running, is now ready to go. So we're going to send it over to my man Andrew Roberts, speaking with Kendall Patrick. Andrew, over to you.
Thank you, Matt. Actually, I'm wondering, when is the most negligible Bachelor auction and how do I sign up? So if you could let me know those details, maybe we can get them on the show next week, and yeah, that'd be great. Anyway, I am here with Kendall Patrick and Lena Birtwhistle of Kendall Patrick and the Headless Bettys. Thanks for being here, guys. How you guys doing?
Good. Good. Pretty good, yeah.
Awesome. Now, why are you here? There's a big fundraiser you guys are doing. What's that all about?
We're raising money to get our band to Toronto because we were accepted into a big music festival called Indie Week Canada, and it's in October 16th to 20th, so we have to raise some funds to get us there on the plane, stay in some hotel, and come back.
We need like $6,000.
Yeah. It's kind
That's
of
really
urgent.
cool for an Nanaimo band to actually get accepted into something like this, to go all the way out to Toronto, so there is a lot of costs involved. Now, what are those going to cover again?
Well,
It's gonna be
the
like-
plane. Yeah, the
Yeah, the
plane,
plane.
the accommodation, the food, the gear rental, that kind of thing.
That kind of thing.
Excellent.
Yeah, mostly plane and accommodation.
So
to
you
be
get
a big one.
you got a showcase with Toronto bands, or do you know
I think
who you're playing with
we
yet?
get, I don't know who we share the night with, but we'll get a judged showcase where industry professionals will actually critique our performance, and it gives us an opportunity to network, and well, we don't really know, so that's the...
What's the goal?
Well, the biggest thing is just to like meet people and network and like get us out there and get people to know who we are, and then, you know, that kind of thing. But if we win that festival, then we get to headline the festival in Ireland.
Yeah, there's an Indie Week in Ireland, I think, the following year, so the winners always get to headline the next one. But yeah, I think the most important thing is just coming into contact with people that could help us move our career to the next level, whether it be a booking agent or a manager or someone in the film and TV realm. We don't know, but the point is to show up and do our best and see what happens.
How much do you have to raise?
6,000.
Yeah.
6,000?
Is our goal.
And how much are you at now?
Maybe around 1,500 or something. And I think there's still like a month left. So if you see this, pass it on.
So we're going to give you guys the details on how to help Kendall Patrick and the Headless Bettys get to Toronto. You can visit igg.me/@/Kendall-Patrick. Make sure you go there and help these guys out. You can also check them out on Facebook at facebook.com/Kendall Patrick and the Headless Bettys. And you guys are going to play a song for us right now.
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to play?
Big stars.
Take it away, guys. Thanks.
Okay, I'll go. Oh, hold on.
In the summertime, we were in love, burning the days up, yeah. Sharing beds and floors, sharing beds and floors. Coronas in the fridge, smokes in the package, yeah. Better glue than that, but better glue than that. We had our guitars under the big stars, and we were in love. Don't go out of sight, I'd really miss you, so stay. Don't go out of sight, summer's slipping away. Summer's slipping away. such your blessing. And I'm so glad to have it, I'm so grateful to have it. I'm gonna carry with me in my soul when I'm out on the road to sing home. A better clue than that, a better clue than that. We had our guitars under the big stars and we were in love. Don't go out of sight, it really means to stay. Don't go out of sight, the summer's slipping away. The summer's slipping away. The summer's slipping away.
My next guest is Holly Bright, and Holly Bright is from the Crimson Coast Dance Society. And today we're not here to talk about dancing, we're here to talk about the second annual Mad Hatter Tea Party that's happening here in Nanaimo on October the 6th. Welcome, Holly.
Thank you for having me.
Well, thanks for coming. I love to get dressed up, so what a perfect opportunity.
I've loved to get dressed up all my life. It's really a lot of fun, yeah.
We should do this more often.
And we get to visit our childhood and yeah, play with some teas, some fabulous teas, and enjoy an impossible silent auction. We'll have a fashion show with some fantastical fashions, and lots of games and a croquet match, of course.
Croquet? Mm-hmm. This is all at the Grand Hotel?
It is at the Grand Hotel on Rutherford Road.
Wonderful. So you're having a Mad Hatter Tea Party. Everybody can come?
Anyone can come, as long as you have a hat. And it doesn't matter who's the Mad Hatter, it only matters whose hats matter.
Oh, very good.
So definitely wear your hat. If you don't have one, you can rent one at the door. And all funds go toward the Body Talk Project, which is a Crimson Coast Dance Society youth initiative.
So the Body Talk Project, what is that?
It's a career exploration opportunity for teens, and they get mentored by business professionals in the community on all aspects of event planning, marketing, and production, as well as dancing and performing. The youth pick the artists who they get to work with, and then they learn how to produce an entire event and wrap it up at the end.
So the money that's raised at this event is going to build
support for that program. Mm-hmm.
Wonderful. Great.
Yes, yeah.
So that's why this isn't all about dance.
Well, it is all about dance in a way.
Well,
in a roundabout, down the rabbit hole.
Down the rabbit hole kind of way. Awesome. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to come there and I'm going to wear my hat and my Alice gear. And what's going to happen? I'm going to go on a cakewalk. What's a cakewalk?
Well, we have a wild cakewalk with fabulous cakes. Yeah, and you can participate. You can also buy a cake and take it home with you.
So do I get to walk on a cake? Like, what is that?
Oh, we carry and dance the cakes around the room and show off our cakes, and they're completely fantastical themselves, very whimsical cakes, and a little bit of a live auction and some probably sparring for prices and negotiating, and the queen, well, she rules.
Oh.
So whatever
Who's
she
the queen?
says
Can I be the queen?
Oh, absolutely, come as the queen.
Okay.
We'll also have a to tell the truth contest to see who the real queen is at the end of the day.
I see.
Mm-hmm.
I see. Maybe not. So cakewalk, fashion show.
We have some actual original designs, and local designer Lisa Michael from Belladonna. She's an esthetician, and she's designed a line of clothing that is beautiful and comfortable for people who have to move while they work. So estheticians, massage therapists, anyone who is in an active job and usually wears a uniform and would like to wear something more fashionable. And Ainsley Wear, who is a designer for dance and active wear, as well as a lot of local stores in the community who, some of the higher fashion, higher end fashion, some teen fashions. We have some really exciting catwalk action planned.
So how many people?
How many people?
How many people were there last year?
Oh, well, last year we had 25.
Yep.
And this year we have, our capacity is completely changed. We have capacity for 120.
120?
Yes.
So 120 people can come out dressed up in their Sunday best or their best hats and join you at the Mad Hatter Tea Party.
And take a little journey in Wonderland.
Well, speaking about little journeys, I'm going to pass the mic over to Anna and Ian while they talk about marriage relationships.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lorraine. I appreciate it. And today, my guest, I'm here with Ian Gartshore, and Ian is a marriage and family therapist for Shore Counseling Services. Welcome, Ian.
Thank you very much.
And the reason Ian is here, he's going to talk about, he's hosting these relationship enhancing seminars. And these, believe it or not, are free seminars. And please let us know how to sign up and where they're going to be at and all the good info, please.
Okay. Thank you very much, Hannah.
No problem.
We have started, actually this last Thursday, we started with the first one of 6 that are going to be going right through to the end of November. Every second Thursday, there'll be another one. It'll be at the Thurman McGee's hotel, I was going to say, restaurant and pub, which is in the old train station. And I see I've got a train tracks right beside me there.
You.
It's so appropriate.
It is appropriate.
Arranged this for me.
Good venue.
It's beautiful. It's a gorgeous building. It's got these lovely ceilings, old wood. It's a beautiful building to go in there and check out. And I think it's the appropriate setting because it feels close enough that we can actually get to know more about what relationships are about. I mean, everyone knows what relationships are to some degree. But as it's been pointed out to me, nobody taught me how to do this in high school.
No, it's not something you learn.
Nope. And lots of people end up tripping over themselves trying to figure out how to do this.
Right.
And I'm not talking about just only intimate relationships, although that's one of the evenings we're going to be focusing on that.
How to deepen your relationship with your spouse and partner. That's on October 24th.
Yes. And for people who are dating or who are wanting to know how to date better, that's a great one to go to.
Date better, I like that.
Date better, absolutely. Because it's you know, in the age of romance, which is, you know, all about hormones and all this kind of stuff, it's lovely, but it's very limited. And when people say, oh, I fell out of love, so I guess the marriages or relationship is over, and I say, oh, no, not at all. This gives you an opportunity to make some shifts that you need to be making that is going to make your relationship even better. But other evenings, we're going to be talking about conflict, for example. Now, I don't know about you.
That's October 10th.
Yes, there are 2 actually.
Oh, are
one
there?
One is about conflict, and one is about how to fight well.
Yes, that was the destructive anger. Is that the destructive anger into constructive?
That's the very last one.
Courage.
Actually, at toward the end of November.
Okay, November 21st. Yeah.
That's right. And
that one I'm quite interested in checking
absolutely,
out.
because how do you turn anger into something positive? It just doesn't make a lot of sense to people.
Doesn't make much sense, no, but
it does. And in fact, when anger is used well, when it's used constructively, then we actually end up creating more intimacy, better relationships. We create more harmony in the home. Kids get along with us better. All those kinds of things happen way, way better.
That makes a lot of sense, actually.
Absolutely, it does. But most of us have not been taught how to do that. And so what I'm going to do is a seminar on that subject. It doesn't mean people have to ask any questions or do anything. They don't have to, you just turn up and be there. And I will be teaching them some of the steps that they can do and take home and actually, or to their workplace or wherever.
Now, I know there's a stigma attached to counseling and therapy. Yeah. How can you encourage people to come to these seminars? Because it's so important. All this
Absolutely.
information is so important.
Relationships are the things that we remember the most when we are in our rocking chairs, usually. And so I want people to be able to get the most that they can out of the relationships and to give the most that they can in relationships. Stigma happens when people think, oh, they're going to be judged if they're seen in this place with a therapist.
Yeah.
But I'm not into psychopathologizing people. I'm not into figuring out what their illness is, what's wrong with them, what's their deepest, darkest secret. None of that kind of stuff. I'm interested in helping healthier relationships to be formed so that people will be healthier themselves.
Now, can you let our audience know how they can, do we sign up?
Yeah.
They're free. So,
Absolutely.
and can they go on your website?
Absolutely, go to the website.
Okay.
shorecounseling.ca, and counseling's got 2 L's in Canada, so shorecounseling.ca, there's a place to get more information about all of the seminars, all the remaining 5 that are there, including how to raise your kids better. And then they can get their free ticket there, and if they come with a free ticket, they're more likely to get a seat.
Get there. Excellent. Thank you so much, Ian. I really appreciate your coming and talking to us tonight.
My pleasure. Thank you, Anna.
And we're going to go back now to the Mad Hatters.
My next guest is Susie Siri from the Grand Hotel. And welcome, Susie.
Thank you.
Susie is here today, funnily enough, teaching a Brit how to make a perfect cup of tea. So I'm very interested to see how this works out. So at the Mad Hatter Tea Party,
yes,
there will be tea.
Of course.
So would you like to show me how a proper cup of tea is poured?
Oh yes, of course.
So what kind of tea do you have here?
So today we've actually been steeping the Buckingham Palace tea, which I'm sure you're quite familiar with.
Yes, my second home.
The Buckingham Palace blend was actually made for the Queen's garden party every summer. And she has 4,000 guests at Buckingham Palace, and she has this special tea blend made where it has a touch of jasmine, a touch of Earl Grey, and a little bit of cornflower. And it's just special and spectacular and very popular. And we'll be serving some of this at the afternoon tea party.
Do you know that my mother has actually been to one of her tea parties, and she actually designed these hats to wear there?
You're kidding.
No.
I love it.
We need a Mad Hatter to serve us our tea.
I know. What shall we do?
I don't know.
Am I late? Oh, hey guys. Sorry, I got a bit of a throat there.
You're right on time.
We're on time, so some tea needs to be poured.
Yes, please.
I'm a poor choice, but I'm going to do it. So what do I do? What do I start off? I noticed we have these things which look like my old sunglasses I used to have.
You would just put one of those on your glass.
All right. I'm going to try this. Just put it right there.
So that it catches all the little tea leaves that are loosely flowing around. Hold the top of that.
I'm not going to drop it like...
Perfect.
Wow.
So what is it, half full, 3/4?
Just the way it is perfect. Just
Beautiful.
Like that.
All
lovely.
Well, I'm going to continue then. Can you use the same one for the other glass?
You sure can.
All right.
That's exactly what you do.
As long as it's the same tea.
Yeah. Oh, good call.
Very good. This one's for you.
Why, thank you.
Now, we're having afternoon tea on the Sunday, the 6th of October. Not high tea, which is it seems to be quite confusing. There's a difference between afternoon tea and high tea, and I'm sure being a Brit, you would know that.
Of course.
So afternoon tea was something that was typically for...
No, Matt.
No?
Little finger.
Oh, okay.
Up.
Back up.
I'd like a cup too.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, I have one here.
Afternoon tea is the traditional 2:30 service, 2 o'clock, 1:30, in that time zone. High tea was for the blue collar workers that couldn't really afford to have the afternoon off, so they would have high tea at 5 o'clock, and they'd have a substantial sandwich and they'd have a cup of tea. But afternoon tea was for sort of the rich and the ones that could sort of luxuriate in a little bit of tea. So we're having afternoon tea.
Oh,
yes.
Lovely.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for being here. This has been lovely.
Darling.
Cheers.
Cheers. Ching ching.
To the Queen.
I'm all for a royal
Cheers
good
to
time.
you.
Oh, cheers. I'll get in there. Now, what do you do with the little fingers?
You stick it out like
Dr.
this.
Evil sort of thing? From, yeah,
Bend,
here we go. Raymond knows what
you
I'm talking
bend it,
about.
you bend it, you bend it.
Bend it? Okay. I can't after I broke my hand in an episode of The Locker Room.
Cheers.
So, cheers. Sip it good. Very, very good stuff. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Lorraine, for having this segment put together.
Thank you.
Thanks as well, Susie, for being here.
Thank you.
And Holly as well here earlier. I hope the event goes very, very well. And
Thank you.
I mean, it's so great. I found to have Holly on the event because really I'm not much of a dancer, but it is great to sort of highlight, you know, the Crimson Coast Dance Society. Myself, I'm more likely to sort of laze out on the couch and eat macarena and cheese, you know, and maybe with some mashed potatoes and some ketchup for some added twist. And, you know, until I go for a swim at the YMCA, where you do have to jump and bump into big lineups for the electric slide.
Nice. So I have a gift for you. It's about your stinky jokes. And someone suggested you take this lovely soap from Margot and wash your mouth out with it.
Andrew!
Melissa!
Melissa! No, it wasn't Andrew this time. Well then, how about that? Okay, well, don't be don't be there for the old re-gift there on the old shot. No, I'm not going to re-gift. This is awesome stuff. So, well, I'm actually happy Melissa gave this to me. Thank you very, very much. So, anyways, I'm gonna hold it together now and talk to my man Staz over here. So we got some more music too. And anyways, well, that was a bit of a time warp there, heading back to the 60s. You know, I've got to get running, man, or I could walk like an Egyptian. Anyway, I can get myself a little bit of locomotion. Actually, watch this hat when I run around, Staz. This is pretty sweet. Where am I going to else get a hat like this? Awesome. I love this Mad Hatter stuff. All right. Anyways, we got to send it off now. So let's send a big shout out to our guests, hosts, volunteers, staff, and my hat. I must send you all a nice Carlton card. You can actually find photos and videos of the show on our Facebook page. Find that at facebook.com/theshowonshaw. You can also find us on our Shaw TV Central Vancouver Island YouTube page. All sorts of past episodes and much more. If you happen to have a good story idea, maybe a great hat, or you want to be featured on the show as well, send your comments to our producer, Melissa Hall. She can be contacted at her email address, melissa.hall@sjrb.ca. Love to hear from you. All right, now to finish things off, we're going to head over this way, send out one more song from Kendall Patrick and the Headless Betty, and a track called Single Life Revolution. Thank you so much for watching the show right here on Shaw TV.
Single life revolution, birthing true words. Since I was set free, since I had to lose her, I thought I'd be lonely, but that was just a rumor. Harry Styles got me feeling like a cougar. But that's the thing about being your own, you can do what you want. You can let yourself feel whatever you feel without all the drama. I'm getting no rest from my crippling paranoia. Treating myself well, eating raw and doing infrared saunas. I'll fix my skin. Who are you? What do you want? Who are you? What do you want?